Hello everyone, how are we? Um, so my name's Charlie, and I do a lot of swing trading, and I thought I should try and spread some analysis with, and just spread some analysis with it all. And I think it's better for me to show people what I'm doing for my own growth and to make a document of it, of my learning. So today we'll be doing what I do every morning, and that is just going through each of my bullish or bearish signaled assets and just seeing about any technical entries. I get these from the Edge Finder, which is Trader Nick's software through A1 Trading, and it is a software that will give you either bullish or bearish signals due to the market. Due to economic releases, which could be, unemployment claims, PPI, CPI, uh, anything really, non-farm payroll, and it all goes into this Edge Finder, which is pretty bloody great. So thank you, Trader Nick, for that. I will eventually buy it myself one day, but at the moment I'm gonna have to scalp off the YouTube videos because I simply am pretty broke, as we all are. So yeah, so we just get into these and we'll just go through what I'm thinking and what I'm looking at from a swing trader's perspective. So we'll start off with my current open positions. So I've gone with US oil, the dollar yen, and Bitcoin. As you all know, Bitcoin's going pretty crazy at the moment. I'm pretty late to the party, which is not ideal. I think I might have caught it a bit too late, but we will soon find out. We've got not really any profit at the moment. I'm currently trading with a 140k FTMO account. It is a demo because I'm just getting to grips with it, and then I'll go for the challenge again at some point. And yeah, so as we jump out to the 1 day chart, we can see that Bitcoin has been melting up the chart, which is quite bloody impressive due to Trump's presidency, with him being pro currencies and release regulations on businesses, etc. It's been very good for Bitcoin. So we can see here we had the jump around the presidency area, which I want to say was, when was it? 7th of November? Was it the 5th of November? Either way, you can see that Bitcoin has melted up the chart at around 31%. We hit over $90,000 per Bitcoin the other day, and now we are sitting at around 88,000. So it's a matter of time until we find out whether we really do give back some of these gains to the market, or if we can keep it and push further upwards. I think in the long term, Bitcoin has definitely got room to the upside due to Trump coming into office and the in a general term, like stepping away from the actual economic news at the moment. Cash is more obsolete, so Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are becoming more and more popular for discretion, non-public money transfers. So regardless, if I can get into a position at a decent place and keep it, I will keep that position. We can see here, literally as we're talking, Bitcoin is pushing up. I think it's just made about just under a percent. I have had one past entry in on this trade. I think I entered it around here, but it just dropped a little bit lower, took out my stop loss, but that's fine. So I entered again because that is my strategy. For anyone who's not aware, my strategy is very conservative. I will use the Edge Finder for a fundamental signal, and then I'll put them into a list, and then I'll go on to analyze that list for a technical entry. So with Bitcoin, for example, I'll use the 1 day to get a good idea. And I've dropped onto the 1 hour because I tried to use a bit of like ICT and like philosophy, because I feel like it's important to have an idea of what insider traders are doing to get a good entry. Because now I know which direction it's going. I'm just looking for the entry. Simple, right? We would hope. But so you can see here, Bitcoin's been a bit choppy these past few days. It's kind of collecting itself, where it's hit top or it's just consolidating. We will soon find out. But I looked around here, and we had this little test, and I set my limit there, and it bit it at around 4 o'clock yesterday, GMT time, and we've entered that. We stooped pretty low into our stop loss, but that's why they're there, and it's recovered now to break even. It's nice to see that this area is holding quite well on the price, a bit of a footing, so we will see where that goes. But I'm definitely long on Bitcoin and many other cryptos. I've got a long-term investment portfolio of many AI tokens and even a couple meme coins, because I believe that there is massive growth potential in that sector, and it'd be rude to miss out on. Moving along, we've got my USD GPY entry, which is going quite well. If I just zoom out a little bit here, let's go to the 1 day chart so we can have a look. Which is going nicely, to be fair. Got on quite an alright entry. I thought it bottomed out here, but it went a little bit further. But again, that's why the stop losses are there. And it's pushed higher ever since, really. I've had this trade open for about 2 weeks now. And yeah, it's going nice. As you can see, I've made my 1-to-1 risk to reward, so I'll probably look to move this up soon. I think I'm going to remove the stop loss. I think we'll do that as I'm speaking. Move that up to break even, so I can't lose profit now, which is ideal. So that's where we're at with that. I believe that the USD GPY, first off, I got the prompt on the Edge Finder, and the US dollar is very strong at the moment, and the interest rate is very nice, so the carry trade here is nice. I'm not benefiting from it at the moment because it's a funded account. It's a demo account, sorry. But I would benefit greatly from the swing trade as in a carry position, so it's a nice little extra. But on the economic sides of it, I want to say that I made a document talking about it, so I will actually pull that up so I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Let's close some of these tabs. So if I just go into my backtesting spreadsheet, if you don't keep a backtesting spreadsheet, it's very valuable to do so. And here I document all of my trades and whether they went good or if they went bad, how much I'm risking, time of entry, what strategy I'm doing, the market direction, the news at the time, the indices, do they support, indicators, support and resistance, candlesticks, fucking whatever. So coming down here to my most recent entries, we were just looking at the USD GPY. If I go along, I do have a document to talk about my entry ideas. So this was my entry. As you could see, if we zoom in on this a little bit, the market took a brief relapse and the Edge Finder was very bullish. A lot of bullish volume on the MACD. And you could see here, there was some bullish hidden divergence, which is who knows? Fuck's sake, I wish I could crop this shit. But yeah, so I made the entry there. Yeah, so you can see here I was right. So there was hidden bullish divergence because it's the lower lows that are not correlating, so it is therefore hidden, and it's bearish lowest low, so it makes it bullish. Hidden bullish divergence, which it means is at a good value, it's undervalued. So that was a little extra, another confluence for me, along with it being at some good support areas from previous price lows. And so here we have iron at the retracement, and I hit the level, meeting up with a solid resistance level. Very bullish on the Edge Finder, which is my main confluence. Because USA are going to increase their tariffs because of Trump's coming back into house. One of his main One of his main ideas is to increase tariffs against exports, so that will push other currencies down and bring the dollar up. So being on the long side of that is very beneficial. The election is quite a big pusher for this entry of this trade. Here we're just looking at the definition of hidden bullish divergence. So you can see around the lower lows are made in a uptrend. So we have that as the market, and it's just the definition I'm looking for there. And then you could also see here on the commitment of traders filing, you could see that there was a right, yeah. So the commitment of traders comes out every week. So it's a lot more short term. So for swing trading, it can be good for entries, but that's kind of it. So you can see here there was a good increase in short contracts, creating a short squeeze, which is very good for us because squeezing the market together to therefore see a breakout, which, if I am not mistaken, we did eventually see. You see that massive candle? That was just after a 2% jump on the day. Also correlating with the presidency, but it definitely didn't hurt it having that short squeeze. And for the stop loss, I used ×2 ATR on the 1 hour time frame, the 1 day time frame, sorry. Because I wanted to place it quite nice and big. Looking at it now, I could literally have had half of that and make double the profits, but that's not what we're about. We can't look at stuff in hindsight in trading because that is a deep dive into depression if you're constantly looking at hindsight. But around this time, I kind of forgotten what my strategy was. When my strategy really is to take multiple entries and a very tight stop loss in the hopes that one of them will hit and go, and then you can place your stop loss in your profit. Because that risk to reward is key. If there's no point having a massive winning trade if you have a massive stop loss because you're making the same amount of money if you could do a tiny move or just a tighter stop loss. So the real idea in trading is not for how much upside you can get, it is simply how tight can you put that stop loss. That is the main part of trading, is how tight can you put your stop loss without getting stopped out, and still being profitable while doing it. So an example for that would be, you could argue this Bitcoin trade, which is pushing up by the second. Ignore this because it's going to be a trailed stop, but you see here, this stop loss is a 2%. And if anyone knows Bitcoin, it can very easily move 2% in a day, in an hour, really. So, like, if you look to the 4 hour, what we've got a 4% candle there. We've got a 1.7% candle, and we've got a 2.38% candle there. So it could be, in a space of hours, it could stop me out. But that also means that it's only got to move this much for me to move to break even, because I've already made back my stop loss. So, and that is only, well, a 2% movement. So it's much more valuable to do this because the one good entry you get, you can really profit off it. For example, if it jumps just up to where it was, on Wednesday, that's a 3-to-1 just to move back to there, which means that I will be up £2,100 in the space of from now to Wednesday, so 2 days really, all because of a tight stop loss. So that is the important part, it's just a tight stop loss. Many stabs, but one will go through. So that's my Bitcoin and my yen, and we got my oil trade. No, that's not my oil trade. My oil trade, which is here, which was going well, and it's kind of a bit of a sucker. Fucking hell, this is a messy chart. Hang on, let me just tidy this up. So we've got my oil trade here. It's been a bit of a low recently due to the increase in the US dollar, which will push the price of oil down because the US dollar is the reserve currency for oil. So it is quite a key factor, especially on WTI West Texas crude oil. Yeah, and with the presidency, you can argue with Trump, or if Kamala Harris went into power, they both want a lot more production to create new things, and that takes energy. So that would be in the form of fuel, oil, electricity, everything. So that will boost the prices and boost the demand for power, which is good for oil. But at the same time, if we come out of here, which that wouldn't happen instantly, every week you have crude oil inventories, which ideally for oil, for the price of it, you want the inventory low, so therefore the supply is low, so that supply demand ratio is at a difference. But you can see here the forecasted was a zero point 0.4 million barrels in storage, but we have a 2.1 million barrels in storage, which therefore means the supply is at a surplus, so there is no, that ratio is very off, so the price will fall because it doesn't meet the demand, it over meets it. But you can also have a look here to combat this. They have been OPEC. I actually might have this just in my backtesting spreadsheet. OPEC have been reducing their releases from their factories in hopes to increase the oil price as supply will diminish. So here we talk about how there was a massive drop in oil prices as Israel retaliates to Iran by only bombing their military areas. Because as you know, there is big oil refineries in the Middle East, and with this massive war going on, as crap as this sounds, it creates a supply issue with oil, so the price will increase because there is no security in the oil. So that will increase the prices of oil. So you can see in the market, if we zoom out a little bit, you can see these big spikes in oil are due to times when the Israeli war was at a high, most uncertainty, and then down here is when there is certainty in whatever that may be. So therefore, during these times, so this here was only bombing their military areas, is showing that they have no intent to bomb their oil reserves or anything that may infect that industry. So therefore the supply is still certain, so therefore the price will not increase because there is no change in supply. There has been weeks where oil refineries have dropped, which is good, but at the moment it doesn't really seem to be the case. As Trump get elected, like I was saying, lots of money will go into manufacturing and construction, as that what usually happens with a new president, no matter who it is. Therefore, energy prices would increase, oil being a part of that, which is good for the price. Also, OPEC have been holding supply until later this year to try and bring up the price of the decreasing current supply, which is again, like I said, with OPEC holding back the releases of their oil. China's economy rating has flipped back into expansion territory, increasing their demand for oil. China is the most biggest export of oil from the US, so therefore their economy is key to the price of the oil coming out of America. And here we're also talking about a little bit of technical analysis with the volatility and the gapping of the price at time of entry, where there was a lot of volatility at the time of entry. Here, the idea was this here is a fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, just a gapping. Either way, during this period, there is a lot of volatility, which was true with this candle here when it jumped by 2%, which filled that gap. You also have it here where it had fallen back down into this gap and you had a big massive move. Again, it holds true that around these areas there's a lot of volatility, and that is why it ended here, and I capitalized off that. Obviously I'm going to kick myself that we hit very high and it fell back down, but that is the thing with oil. Oil is very much a trading commodity. It is not a investing commodity. You have to be quick and on the ball with this commodity, as it is very volatile. It swings to its highs and lows, which some traders will love, which I do love, because you do get decent highs and lows. It's never consolidating, and if it is for a short time, but you can see here, if you go on to the 1 day again, you know, it moves up and down, up and down. It's very nice in that way that you can find a lot of good swings, and it's not just choppy like many forex pairs are. So in that case, it's nice. But yeah, like I said, I mean, hopefully we can make our way back up to this to break even and fill that gap again. But we would have to wait and see. Stop loss is there for a reason. I believe it will still go up. It's just we just need one little prod, I think. The dollar has been falling today, these past couple of days, so that will push up oil prices because they work in opposite correlation. And so therefore you'd probably find that commodities are also pushing up. Where are they? Yeah, they've stopped on their pitfall anyway. But yeah, so I'm still long-term bias is definitely still bullish on oil. It's just, as you know, it's very volatile. It's just finding that optimum entry and sticking to it. We're also looking at Tesla. I think Tesla could be a good entry with obviously with Elon partnering up very much with Trump in the presidency to audit the government and everything. His value is going to shoot up a lot, and therefore that will also go into Tesla, which you can see here, like since the presidency, which was around here, you know, the stock's nearly doubled in price. It's not doubled, you know, quartered in price, which is a very important, very big factor. You can see it's kind of given back half of its gains here, so we could look at an entry. Ideally, I've got a alert set here because that'd be a nice little support area, but whether it'll make it to there, we are not too sure. Very briefly looking through here, we've got my CHF GPY. I'm looking at a soon to be entry for this because it is very bullish on the edge finder. I think we've got an 8 or a 9 out of 10, where 5 is between 5 and -5 is neutral, and between each ways it's either bearish or bullish signals. CHF GPY is very bullish, so I'm looking for an entry here. The 1 day, we've got an Elliott wave theory idea going on here, where we've got the first wave, we've got the retracement, and the third. And we're on the fourth wave at the moment, where the second wave was very sharp and clean. We're looking at a much slower wave here and more passive, which can usually retrace to around the 0.382 level on the fib. So that's what we're aiming for. If it can drop back down to this level, I think I will set a limit here. I'm actually going to put a limit in. If I want to change it, I can, but I'm going to put a limit, and actually I haven't set a stop loss or anything. No, we're going to leave that for now. But that's probably my main looking at trade at the moment. I'm actually going to move that into there because I want to have a look at that before I finish trading today. We entered on the FTSE the other day, got stopped out. This is a different trade I've been looking at. DAX, we entered on that and that didn't go too well. Just bottomed out. You can see here, perfect example of stop loss hunting by institutional traders. So we have bang, bang, and I remember I entered here, and I got this little baby gain, and then it crashed, stopped me out, and then it took well past where my take profit was. Euro dollar, I'm still kind of stuck in the short bias. I think it may be incorrect now, but if we just jump out to the 1 day, I may be looking at to come back to this area to maybe go short. If not, there is plenty of support area around here for a bullish entry. USSR, my main interest here is the carry trade capable on this. The ZAR has a very high interest rate of around 10%, whereas the US has quite a low interest. I think I saw 45% somewhere. I don't think that's a thing, but either way, going short on this is very good for a carry trade. Very difficult because the South African rand is very small and volatile compared to the dollar. So these little pitfalls are, as you can see, very sudden and very strong. So it is just a matter of, could see a bit of a crash soon. I might go for a little stab because again the carry trade's nice, and if I could ride, you know, one of these like this one here, you know, it's about a month of carry trade. So per one lot you buy, you're getting around $120 returns. So you can seriously stack up some carry trade on a short position. But it is just finding that opening. Again, as you can see here, it's these short runs are very, very sudden, and they come out of nowhere, and they're quite hard to catch. So we'll wait and see about that. That is kind of all the time I really have for today. We have gold making a lower low. I think its bull run is over and it's on to the next thing, but could look at a short on it. Obviously, we've all seen the Nasdaq flying up. Bit annoyed because I was looking for an entry here. Some of the most obvious entries are the ones you avoid because you think something's going to happen. But it's obvious that it's going to go up because it's an indice. And yeah, back on whatever. That was a bit of a bummer. But yeah, we will have to wait and see. But as you can see, this Bitcoin trade is quite nice to watch live, I think, sometimes. While it's winning, that is. This has changed fucking very quickly. But usually with Bitcoin, I find when it starts off strong in a day, it usually holds through on that trend. I'm going to move this stop loss up relatively as quick as I can. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, that is all the time I have today. Thank you for watching, guys. It's a bit of a crap video for the start, but I mean, it's better than nothing at the moment. Just trying to get something going on YouTube. But yeah, alright, see you later. Bye bye.